I'm a freelance digital artist, I guess. So I draw sort of portraiture using a graphics tablet through Photoshop. My name's Elizabeth Lea. I am 20 years old and I was born in Texas in the USA, originally from Tasmania, and now I'm in the Gold Coast. Usually I'll just see a picture online or see a drawing done by another artist and I'll want to sort of replicate something similar. A lot of the time I'll also see just portraits of people, photographic portraits that I want to draw, and I'll sort of interpret it in my own way. At the moment I'm sort of starting to bring together my own style, so sort of taking this sense of realism and not so realistic essence together as one style. So yeah, that's where it's kind of going. I like to sort of bring a realistic image and make it look, just alter it slightly so it's not realistic, because people do paintings of things that are so realistic they look like a photograph, and then it's just sort of not very impressive to look at because it's sort of, that's just, a picture of a picture. So I kind of bring on that picture of a picture idea and then alter it slightly so there's something quite not realistic about it, and then in that way it sort of looks interesting and different, and I think that's probably what's original with my work.
What is your favourite piece of artwork and why?
I got an email from my old school in Tasmania and they wanted just some work that students had been doing during their gap year or whatever, their year after school. I didn't actually have any work that I was happy with to show, so I quickly put together a series of portraits like in about a week. So they were very quickly done, but when I do works quickly they tend to turn out better, so I was really happy with them, and they turned out quite nicely. Printed them nice and big, and yeah, got some lovely feedback from the people at the exhibition, so yeah.
Who inspired you to start drawing?
Mainly my dad.
I'm Andrew Lee, I'm 53 years old and I'm the father of Elizabeth Lea.
From when I was quite young, I was shown some of his paintings that he did when he was a bit younger. He did some realistic acrylics and watercolours of birds and pelicans, and did this one painting of a house, and it was just outstanding. It was kind of like, oh, I want to be able to do something like that.
I think I've always had a strong bond with Elizabeth. After a career in the Navy, I spent a lot of time away from home and a lot of time away from the kids, so the time I had with Elizabeth were really precious. I'd do as much as I could with the kids, whether it was with sport, scouting, but also drawing and art. So whenever I could, I'd get involved in some way, whatever seemed right at the moment.
And yeah, it was a bit of a shame because Dad doesn't do much painting anymore. He doesn't really have much inspiration or drive. But I like to think that his inspiration kind of channeled into me in a sense, and it's just so cool to be able to sort of be influenced by someone as close as my dad.
Yeah, we knew when Elizabeth was young that she had a vivid imagination. We used to play imagination games like pretend stories and things like that. I was never good at reading a story like my wife Robin, but and instead I used to like doing pretend games.
I remember before going to bed sometimes, instead of reading a story or doing funny little pretend stories with stuffed animals and stuff, he'd sit me down with a sketchbook and sort of be like, this is how to draw, and it was a really sort of nice time to look forward to sort of have these little lessons with Dad before going to bed. It always beat having a story read to me, so it was really nice.
Have you ever drawn something special for your dad?
Yep, one time, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago, he commissioned me to do a painting of him, So he gave me $10 and was like, okay, go nuts. So took a picture of him and did up the painting for him, and he really liked it. So set it as his Facebook profile picture for like a year. And yeah, that's probably the one thing I've done for him that was special.
Yeah, I haven't really painted or drawn much. It's just been too busy with my career. But I'd love to get back into it. And in one way, if Elizabeth's influenced me at all, it's been to provide some motivation to me to get back into it. A few years ago, Elizabeth influenced the decision to get me an easel and some oil paints and stuff, because I mentioned at the time that I wouldn't mind getting into oil colours, oil painting one day. Now that's all still sitting in our spare room at home, and I think seeing what Elizabeth's now doing in art, I think it's great motivation for me to take some classes and try and get back into it again.